What it do, Bruce Juice crew? And today we're going to be looking at those trending players. We're going to be looking at the player values, long-term and short-term, so you can get a good idea of what's happening with those players sitting on your roster. We're going to be looking at the next-gen stat charts over at NFL.com, seeing how they're getting the ball, what they're doing with it. Another way to look at the tape by the charts, another way to look at the analytics, kind of converges together. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're going deeper than anybody else when it comes to looking at the waiver wire. Videos every single day, going deeper by the day. On top of that, we're helping you set your lineups with the Must Start series, answering your questions, helping you with those picks and everything else. It's a free resource here. All you got to do is click that button, stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You don't want to disappoint Ric Flair. But starting off, Dike, 5 balls caught, 44 yards and a touchdown. Nothing like Captain America here, but you can definitely see where he's getting used out on the field. You can see that 4.3 speed, how that can be very advantageous. And the one thing you want to point out here is Cam Ward. Although it's not super zesty, he's getting you over 200 yards most of the time now, and a lot of times over 250, and you're getting more volume in this offense. And the wide receivers in the offense, Manor and Ridley, were out, but Dike got 7 targets in this game, and you're just seeing him getting used more and more and more throughout the season. And he's a pickup off the waiver wire if he was there, because he's a Titan. I imagine he's a catch and release waiver wire player for some people, and some people he's been stashed, because you look at the 4.3 speed, you look at him being used in the slot. It really depends on the depth of your league. Also, the turning and burning of your league. Sometimes a player gets dropped that you actually like, that you wish you could have drafted, but they went on a cold run. You're like, I'm going to pick them up. Things happen, especially Titans players, players on teams that are the bottom rung of the league. Those players get turned and burned a little bit more. But what I'm seeing here out of Dike is a player here with a lot of upside for the long term, especially if Ward takes that step forward next year. Also, I don't see the price being super high in Dynasty. I definitely see him being a solid piece here in the back end of the season if you need a money ball at the flex. And that is a contextual situation you got to do game to game, matchup to matchup. But we're in an advantageous situation here. We're getting a lot of upside plays. We got the upside speed. We're getting work out of the slot. Things are looking good for Dike. Michael Wilson's all over the place right now. And the thing is, he might be fraud checking Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. is not putting up this. He's not getting targets like this. 15 targets this week, 18 targets last week. Michael Wilson is a very technical, decorated route runner out of Stanford. Like, he's a smart, cerebral player. He's the cerebral assassin of wide receivers right now. 118 yards. There's a lot of volume in this offense. This offense is going to be in a lot of busted-ass game scripts. Brissett loves pushing it all over the yard. He doesn't care. That's what some of these backups do. They realize this is their moment, and they're going to push it. They're going to be aggressive with that. You're seeing that as a trend with some of these players. You're seeing that with Flacco, Brissett, a few others, Jameis Winston, few others. Just my CT is kicking in, but you're looking at this Michael Wilson, though. Solid. He might be the league winner down the stretch. Just a quiet league winner. Like a guy that's just going off. And we definitely see this. Marvin Harrison Jr. will be back sooner than later, but I can't see the targets going away completely. Like, he's got to be around 7 to 10 with Marv back. He's got to be used when Marv's back. Like, he's got to be part more of the progressions now when Marv's back. Like, pre-snap reads, we're watching where he's at a little bit more when Marv's back. Marv's going to take some heat off him too. So I don't expect him to fully go away. I just don't expect it. Now, if someone's expecting that, I don't think I'd want to buy high completely because it is the Cardinals. So I'd wait for the price to reduce one way, shape, or form, or unless someone's trying to sell just to get them out, just so they can take whatever they can get. Especially in Dynasty, you'll see that. Someone goes on a 2-game run, and they're just going to sell for whatever they can get because they couldn't sell him prior, trade him away prior for anything before, and now we got a 2-game run here that you're like, hey, let's go. Let's go. Let's get that late round pick. See if that happens. I see that a lot in trade discussions, trade scenarios, but he's running hot right now. I don't see league winners or guys who are attempting to make a playoff push giving him away, because those are fantasy points and that's potential for them. So it really depends on the context of your situation. This is a player, whether buy, sell, hold, or trading, you may want to kick the tires, just see what comes back at you. It could be juicier than expected. Manny Wilson got touches, 28, 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. 107 yards and 2 touchdowns with a lot of volume. One thing we can definitely say is Josh Jacobs is out. He's getting to work. If Josh Jacobs is back, he is a prime stash, a prime 1B running back, because we know he's going to get enough work where he can accidentally, and the word accident is key here, get you fantasy production. Accidentally means it's not supposed to happen, but it sometimes does because he's getting so much work. And that's what his season's been looking like. That's what last year looked like. And with Josh Jacobs back, we'll probably get a couple more games. If Jacobs goes down with this type of volume, and if Jacobs is out for a bit, like if he re-injures himself or anything, this could be your league winner down the stretch with a lot of upside, with so many touches and offense that is in these game scripts where it's advantageous for running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs, like, there's not much to really say here outside 219 yards on the ground plus what he did receiving was nasty. We just want to look at the chart and admire it right now. Like, that's what you want to see from your running backs. How can you get here with future running backs? You got to have that speed. You got to have explosiveness. You got to have the ability to house it anywhere on the field. You got to have green in front of you and be able to take advantage of it more than just getting a little chunk play. Like, you got to have that home running, hitting burst and speed. So you look at a guy like TreVeyon Henderson, you look at some of those other running backs. Sure, they may not fire like a Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, a Jahmyr Gibbs is once every so often type of player. But if you want to shoot your upside on that, you're not getting there without this type of explosiveness and speed. Christian McCaffrey is explosive in his own way. He's got that receiving chops. You got Bijan Robinson, super, super explosive. Devin Achan, very fast. So you got them in the athletic department in different ways when it comes to their size-adjusted athleticism, but you have to be able to take advantage of space and be able to bust out long gains and house it from anywhere on the field. That's what you're seeing from Jahmyr Gibbs. You saw him light it up with 2 different collegiate programs, Georgia Tech and Alabama, doing it early in his collegiate career. Everybody was looking at him as a draft pick early, even at Georgia Tech before he went to Alabama. So you also got to be looked upon as a prospect early in your career, as a potential NFL back. That's one thing to pay attention to. But you got the speed, you got the explosiveness. We're admiring this. TreVeyon Henderson. Now, not the same. Not the same here. 18 carries, though. 66 yards. Not zesty, not the greatest. I'll definitely say that. But the one trend we want to put out there is we're getting the carries. We're getting the touches. We're getting the opportunities. We're touching the ball more. That's something to look at. We had Steve-O back, and that was the big question. Like, is he going to get, like, tennis opportunities, targets, and carries combined? We got 18 carries here in this matchup. So with that speed, with him developing to the game, getting used to the speed of the game, and if he starts hitting to that upside, the key words there, if, really, because football is going to football. With him getting touches down here in the back end of the season, with this team moving the ball, if this continues, you got potential to hit big, or at least figure out who he is. Now you're looking at Shedeur Sanders. And we said this before. The deep ball ability is going to give you a chance with the other players in this offense. And some of you guys are going to have questions whether or not to pick him up in fantasy. You're 11 for 20 at 209 yards, softer defense, and you had some things break right. You had 10 sacks on Geno. I would wait this out a bit unless you're in, well, if it's a super flex league, there should have already been a move. And if you're in a deeper league, to the point quarterbacks are this valuable, there should have already been a move. But the one thing to point out, you see those 2 deep balls, and actually there's like 5 of them, 20-plus yards. You have 5 shots, 20-plus yards downfield. You weren't getting that prior, and that gives these wide receivers an opportunity. that gives them a chance to cash big. And you're looking at Bond, Tillman, and Judy. Judy had that fumble. That was a play that didn't go so well. You had Dylan Sampson showing off that speed. You had some plays that really helped him out as well. You had the pick, but not just on Shedeur. He's going to provide more upside for your wide receiver. So if I'm in a deeper league, because traditional 12-man leagues, really hard to trust the Browns right now with the volume. It was a very slow game when it came to passing volume. There just wasn't much going on there. It's just not a lot of volume in the scoring. The one thing you can pinpoint is those deep shots are going to provide upside to those wide receivers. J.J. McCarthy, Justin Jefferson. The fact that J.J. McCarthy's killing Justin Jefferson is a crime, is a massive crime. And I said this going into the off season, and you want to gauge how you feel, and this is maybe more towards Vikings fans, and really depends on the context of fantasy football you play. If it's dynasty, deeper leagues, but J.J. McCarthy, when you're looking at this, like, if he's not firing with this amount of talent around him, then we have to raise those questions, because we saw a lot worse quarterbacks. We saw backup quarterbacks come in to this offense over the years and be able to fire. This was your first-round pick. This is a quarterback that you're leaning into, and it's not turning around. It's not turning around. J.J. McCarthy's not turning around. It was a rough matchup. I understand. You got Justin Jefferson, dog. You got Justin Jefferson. You got 4 for 48. What happened last week? What happened? When are we going to turn this around? That's the question with this. Now you're looking at Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. You're looking at Hawk. We can't even trust the pass catchers here. And this is like one of the best receiving depth charts in the league. That's what makes this scary. And now we're going into the fantasy playoffs. We have key assets here that's being impacted by poor quarterback play. If nothing changes, nothing's going to change. So he either starts getting right and turning it around, or it's not going to happen. It may not happen if he does not turn it around. A.J. Brown might be back. He also might be a victim of this offense, but 10 targets, 8 balls caught, 110 yards, 1 touchdown. It was against the Cowboys. It was a game script that blew up, and this was a game script against a defense, though, that gives up a lot of yards to wide receivers and quarterbacks. This was the matchup to start him if you're ever going to start him, if you're leery. A.J. Brown cashed in that. We'll see how the targets and opportunity and workload looks like going forward. But this is a good feeling, especially after how off and on this season has been for A.J. Brown. The fact that we were able to cash against the Cowboys here, maybe in more lucrative matchups, he can hit more for you. But now it's harder for you to go away from him now. John Metchie, him, Adonai Mitchell, both of them got 7 targets in this game. He scored a touchdown back-to-back weeks. He's getting workload. He's been on this team for just a little bit, but he's starting to accumulate some workload here from week to week. For traditional redraft, 12-team, 10-team, I have to be in a dire situation. He will be in waiver wire content for a lot of sites. The thing about this, he's still a Jet. My feelings don't matter. It's just what happens on the field. So that being said, he is giving you opportunity. He's running a fair amount of routes. He's getting a fair amount of targets, and he's capitalizing on it a little bit. Decorated route runner from Alabama. Dealt with knee issues throughout his career. Slow start to his career. He's been in the league for a bit, but slow start due to injuries. This could be a guy, like, with his savviness, really materializes some weeks for you, but you have to be in a position to really capitalize on it or really, like, use it, because if I'm good at wide receiver, I ain't looking this way. Taysom Hill, want to call this out, 10 carries. We saw Alvin Kamara come out. He might get some goal line looks. He might get some red zone looks. Really depends on your context. If you're that bad at tight end, if you use that tight end or quarterback, really depends on where your league setting is at. Go pay attention to here. But if you're money balling at tight end and he's getting those red zone looks and you're hurt at tight end, if you're that bad off at tight end and you're just picking up somebody, maybe this is one of your options and you just hope that he crosses the goal line. Maybe that happens. Maybe that's one of your options, and you hope he crosses the goal line. Kenneth Walker here. This dude is ready to blow it up in space. Like, you're seeing this, everything to the outside. everything to the outside. Charbonnet must have everything up the gut. Everything. They're using that 4.3 speed, and they're hoping to hit that big hitter. He needs to hit the big run. They ain't using him around the red zone. No touchdown, 71 yards. He's getting in the passing game a little bit. So he's kind of getting you to the fairway, but it's not enough to help you win your weeks. We need to cash in on some of these big runs. We almost did it, but we are getting in space a little bit. We just wish we got more workload. Splitting it up almost dead nuts even to him and Charbonnet ain't fun. Tez Johnson here. We got a touchdown. We're a touchdown scoring machine as you got to work through your progressions in some of these matchups. Another thing, how you feeling about Mecca Buka? How you feeling about him right now as we're getting later into the season? Like, are you still feeling confident, or you just feel like we're currently in a buying opportunity for him, dynasty or whatnot? Or do you feel like it was just a high moment here from Baker Mayfield? Tez Johnson, for what he was, like maybe you can capitalize in dynasty if you're out of it, if you want to do that, or if you want to have him as one of your wide receivers that you use in your lineup periodically throughout the years, because I feel like he's going to stick on this roster for a bit. He's going to get his opportunities. He's a good route runner, but you also got other pieces on this offense like Jalen McMillan. You got Mike Evans, whatever's happening with him and everything else. You got Godwin. You got a lot of competition in this offense. He's producing a little bit. You have to think about the future here and what you got going down the line for the rest of the season here for redraft or lineup setting for other formats. He's a good dart throw. Like, he's a dart throw. Even in this game where he didn't really cash. 3 balls caught, 21 yards, so 5-point-something points, plus 6. So he got you to the fairway. It's fine. It's fine. It was an ugly matchup. You know the score. You see that. You're still able to score and get a little something. You had 4 targets here, so you're still able to get a little something. And there's going to be matchups here where the ball sprays over the yard. The Bucs are in matchups like that. But those are the players on the next-gen stat charts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.